is the $1 for residential and $3 for commercial and institutional accounts that we reviewed and already accepted in a previous motion this evening. So I'm trying to understand if there's any intention to move forward with further adjustments, or if you guys are gonna make some proposals for some way to adjust it and make it figured out, or if we're just gonna plan to accept the budget as proposed with the 10% reduction in the fee this year.
Well, I personally like to see it adjusted more, but whenever we get on that subject, we seem to talk about cutting exactly what we said we didn't want to cut, and then we end up not doing anything because we're not going to cut firemen, we're not going to cut police, and the same thing in public works. There's certain things we have to have. Then it's kind of thrown back to me. Well, I'm making $50 a month when I'm trying to run a body shop. I kind of leave it to the manager to do it, which doesn't seem to be happening. So that's where I have the problem. So.
Okay, no, that's good feedback. So we're the policy committee. Dave brought us the numbers. He showed us the potential impacts of doing it as a, like the governor has a choice of doing budget adjustments. Sorry, I know he didn't. Wants to make sure I get in the microphone here. The governor can make an adjustment, and he can do like 10% across the whole board, take 10% out of everything, right? He has that kind of ability. When it comes to policy decisions, though, it's our responsibility here, or if when we were in the budget committee process where we could have discussed it with the other 5 public representatives, to come up with a proposal of how to do it, to look at the numbers that are available there, because Dave made a pass at it, gave us the implications of trying to do it, hit police and fire. He just didn't come up with another place to dig money out. So I think it really falls on us to come up with some kind of policy direction to him. Okay, where do you want to go then if you want to try to eliminate, $500,000 from the budget?
Yeah, see, I kind of look at it as a management position to figure out how to get. I think we can do better in that category, and I don't think the time I have to devote to it, I'm going to be able to specifically say, well, this guy's not doing a job, that guy's not doing his job. If you're looking at cuts, you should be looking at the cut that would do the most minimal impact. And when it said, well, if an officer's already gone, that'd be the easiest way to address it. I don't agree. I don't care if it's easier. I want it done to what's the least impact. And that was some of the choices we were given, is to eliminate the only guy that maintains the parks, or, well, we already got an officer, so let's just leave it that way. It's not, those aren't very creative approaches to balancing the budget, the way I see it. We're too far apart, I think, in having a good conversation on it, quite frankly.
Well, I think we could all have a good conversation on it. I just don't, I've looked through the numbers, Neil. I make the same $50 a month you do, and I'm not seeing any good, long-term, stable way of diminishing the entire $500,000 in a year. If we wanted to start a program that says, hey, we want to try to make a 10% cut every year to eliminate this thing so that the city is no longer, dependent on a user fee, great. I can talk about and work on a program that's like that has that kind of vision. But to have one that says, I don't know what to do, just cut the $500,000 out. I don't know, just don't do it to police or fire, which are basically the majority of the general fee, the entire general service fund. I can't work with that. I've sat and looked at those numbers. Great, okay, so you take out the unappropriated funds, that gives us nothing left to carry forward. And oh, by the way, you can do that 1 year. Next year, you're $500,000 in the hole. So that's not a good business financial sense. I've looked through there. I'm not seeing anything clear. I've asked other people that have good heads and are inventive about this stuff. I haven't seen them come up with anything. Brad came up with 2 or 3 suggestions, but it kind of came all around to the same thing that we had, which was about the same percentages. And I counted on Brad Coffey to give me some good counsel on looking at the math, and he's a pretty inventive guy, and he didn't come up with anything either that could get the whole $500,000 out in a year. So, if you guys want to, stick by your campaign promise, I can totally understand that and agree with the understanding of that. But we need to come up with some kind of program decision so we can move forward off top dead center on this. And even if it was, you guys are saying, hey, okay, it's not the whole thing. I've gotten educated. I've learned about what's in the budget and what's available. Okay, we can't do it all in 1 year. I want to be the first politician to come up and make a promise that I didn't have a full comprehension on the impact and the scope of it. Like I said when you guys were running, nobody comes to politics without an axe to grind. You guys had one, you brought it, and after, you know, the time of learning about what's in the background and what the details are, fine, let's talk about a program to eliminate the fee, you know, and as long as the citizens, you know, if they think that's a really bad idea, you know, in 2 years, 2 of us and the mayor will be gone, or actually about a year, about 18 months, about 2 of us and the mayor will be gone if they think that was a really bad idea to continue down the path of eliminating that fee. And if they think it's a great idea, and they think it's something we should be working on, you know, look at the House tonight, it's packed. You know, they'll let us know if that's a good idea or a bad idea to continue to pursue. But I think we made a good first cut at it this year by getting 10% of it out without eliminating police or fire service. And we had to do some other cuts. We cut some courts, we cut a few dollars, you know, we cut $5,000 out of the library, you know. So I think we're making it, but we need some kind of better direction with some kind of specific scope. If you guys have got some ideas, or people that are talking to you have some ideas that we can work with, and we're down the flyer. I mean, I'd love to have us come to next Monday's meeting and go, you know what? It's been ground over. All of us have looked over it. Our friends have looked over it. The people that we count on for council looked over it. We're going with a 10% reduction this year, or 11%, I think is what it adds up to. But that's what we're going to do this year, and we'll work on it again next year. Or you need to come to next Monday's meeting with some very specific suggestions and directions to the staff on how to make it happen. Otherwise, we're going to be at the point of no return.
Well, I think that if we sat and talked about the particulars for hours, we could be here till midnight, and you're going to be holding firm that everything we're spending is fair, and I'm going to be arguing this, and no one's changed their minds. So, you know, I think I've been clear. I think some people don't want to accept that it's been clear because we want to leave things as business as usual. It's possible I may have to just accept that for this year, that's the best we're going to get. But I'm not happy with it. I don't think we're being creative dealing with the situation in hand. The economy is down. People aren't making the money they used to make. But we're kind of just running business as usual. I don't get it. But it's going to take someone wanting to change that, that's in an administrative position, to understand the nuts and bolts of the whole thing, to run with it. And if they're not willing to do that, I could keep saying, well, this is wrong, that's wrong, which I've been doing, and no response to that comment. So I don't really want to sit here and discuss it all night. I'm kind of accepting the fact that we probably won't have any improvement on it because the management doesn't want to do it.
I kind of find it weird, sorry, I just want to say that in this whole process, not a single person, I'm one of the 3 people that didn't agree on the budget, but not a single person has asked me why I didn't agree with the budget. I thought that was kind of odd. I mean, nobody.
I'll ask.
Well,
I'll
so
ask.
before we open to the floor, I'd like to take a second.
Why?
And so, Neil, as far as procedural, are you okay with us having a little discussion here on this item for a little while longer? And then it sounds like we may have.
So let's not drag it on all hours of the night.
No. So just to respond to yours, Jamie, I had no idea that that's really how you were going to vote at the budget committee meeting. I had no indication from the discussions that had gone on that that's what we're going to do, based on the procedural steps that we'd taken previous to the budget meeting.
And you know, people have wanted to see my email, wanted to see all my conversations, that's fine. Anybody out here wants to see any email, I have no problem with that. You have my password, I don't care. I feel, as a business owner, as a person that deals with contracts all the time, I just, honestly, I want to see maybe some more creative options on ways to save money. It seems like everybody's making that to be a lot bigger of an issue than it really was to me, personally.
So okay. Okay.
Well, I think we've got to look at the thing, the reason that this was put in, this back in April 5, we lost 17.5%. That's what this was put in for. And the basic thing was put in for wasn't to build on a building deal or any of that stuff. It was built to give stability to our police department. We were losing officers hand over fist. We trained, I think, half of Tuckaroa, and I don't know how much of Washington County. We have an officer come on, we have a levy, the levy come up, we send him 2.5 years of school, we give 5 months out, we take a better job. We had to have two had to have contracts, so if we had the stability with that money there, we could hire officers and say that, hey, we're gonna do the school, but you gotta stay for 5 years.
That's something,
That's the basic information we get. But,
that sounds like more of a contract issue then.
well, it all comes into basic stability. It has nothing to do with the top thing, it also comes in with the parks and everything else, planning. If you realize you take away the planning department, you ever see what this planning department lied to us over $8-9 million worth of grants? The reason you get grants, and the reason we went to planning instead of hiring out planning, because we can take the money we have matching grants. So we can take the work that Westwood did and put it toward the matching, is in-kind services. That's a smart thing. That's a smart thing set by the city management. Those are good, responsible things that this management does. Now, I agree with Jeff. We got to this point, we tried to cut 11% off. I agree with that. We can work more. We have goal sections. You guys, we had goal sections. You wrote them down. We discussed it. We thought there was goal sections. We can set goal sections back. The next year we want this to go this way and a little bit at a time. But you can't take it away all at once. And I don't think that's what you were elected for, to take it away all at once. Believe me, that's all I heard out there in the community. So, but I think this way, I'm happy with the taking the 11%. And I think we start that way, we work, that was our goal all along, is eventually get rid of it. And hope the economy, and by having good planning, by having good things here in this town, nice streets, we can get better business, which will take the tax burden off the public, and we can get away with that, get rid of that. And that's my goal, I think that's all our goals.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, I see here in the background information about this particular problem as far as passing budget and that sort of thing, is there's something from the Oregon Department of Revenue that says that we could possibly pass the budget because we can change spending priorities and discontinue a particular program, or to approve a supplemental budget, or add things that were not included in the adopted budget. So it's basically a plan, but if we feel that there's something that we could better after it gets put into effect so that we meet Oregon state law, we as a council have that opportunity. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's all I wanted to clarify, to see this paragraph here. So.
Yeah, that's, I'm looking at that, that's the last paragraph in Mr. Peterson's
Yeah.
advice to you.
Yeah.
So it looks like Liz Ryan wants to speak on the budget.